Wrapping up a little bit of top dressing the targets out here on the driving range, using up all the sand that was in that parking lot over by 18. Doing a little bit of last minute sod work. This is on the practice green, the chipping green. That's the practice bunker. Little perimeter area was a little thin still. Get that sodded out. The rest of the greens are looking pretty good. We aerified them, top dressed them. We put out a product for the Lance nematodes, supposedly systemic, so that should be some good assistance. Another little perimeter sod patch right there. Got all the bunkers edged today, blown out. And then we also top dressed all of the approaches and tees on the golf course, using up all the old bunker sand that we scooped out during the bunker program. And over here on number 6, green's looking really good. We did a small little plug job over here in the back. You see right here, I'm salting some Bermuda grass. They did not like that little salt application this morning. Doing a little plug job right there. But otherwise, this green is in really good shape, especially compared to last year. This fan has done a fantastic job of really keeping this green dry. With the big tree that's behind it, and the lack of sunlight that it gets until real late in the afternoon. This green was staying really wet and it's full of algae last year. This year it looks fantastic. You can see here some of the guys are dragging in the sand and all the approach areas. The goal here is to keep it really, really firm, and lots of sand is the best way to do that. The solution to pollution, and in this case the pollution is organic matter, the solution to pollution is dilution. So trying to keep it nice and sandy. That's the reason why when we first built the golf course, everything is so hard, because there's no organic matter built up on the soil surface, which coincidentally was one of the reasons why that burn thing was so potentially, had so much potential to be so effective on keeping it nice and firm, because it literally burned all of the thatch and organic matter on the soil surface, so there's nothing left, just like a brand new grow-in. Pretty cool potential with that technique. So that's what's left of all the fairway top dressing sand. There was probably 75 truckloads of sand in this parking lot over the summer. And then we went through and cleaned out all of the bunkers and scraped all that stuff out and brought it all over here. So there was probably another 5 or 6 truckloads of, well, actually more than that. We put, I think we put 16 truckloads, somewhere between 16 and 20 truckloads of bunker sand back in the bunkers. I already had some on site, so the number's a little skewed. All right, so we're probably close to 90 truckloads of sand just down here in this pile this summer, and that's what's left. And over the next few weeks, we'll get all this swept up, get this parking lot returned back to a parking lot for the clubhouse operations, and all this sand, that'll be hauled back down to the golf maintenance department, and we'll use what's left of this dark sand here over the next couple weeks, just lightly top dressing the greens as we go into golfing season. And away we go. Another thing that happened the last 3 days is the pine straw guys are here. We got the whole golf course pine straw. They come in and they haul it in, they spread it, just knock it out of the park. So they just finished 2.5 days non-stop pine straw slinging. And then you can see here we're just using up the extra sand to really top dress the approach and the areas around the greens real good. Trying to keep that real firm maximum playability surface going. The goal this year is to take the tees and approaches and the surrounds around the greens like this down to less than 1/4 of an inch. Super, super tight. So if you're here and you want to play back to 13, you can putt it, you can chip it, you can bump and run it, however you want, but you got lots of options and the ultimate playability around the greens. That's how the golf course was designed, and that's what we're going to give you. Teaching center is getting ready for stucco. Here's all their supplies. Giant pallet of mortar, some sand, a mixer, all the scaffolding's up. So it'll be the next day or two, they'll be in here slinging mud all over this thing. Occasionally you're gonna see a little bit of these marks, these little bleach marks on the greens. And what we're doing there is killing paspalum that makes its way in from the outside. The seed head that comes off of this platinum paspalum is a viable seed head. And so it will blow into the green and sprout. So occasionally every 3 to 4 weeks, we just get out and we literally just walk back and forth aimlessly, not aimlessly per se, but just making passes back and forth and all the way across the green, looking for little bandits that are trying to make their way into the TifEagle, and we spray it out. Remember, we can spray out paspalum in Bermuda grass. Right, this is Bermuda grass, paspalum's out there. You can spray out the paspalum in the Bermuda grass. You just can't spray out the Bermuda grass in the paspalum. But that's the reason why we use the salt. We use the waxy texture of the paspalum that does not get dew on it against the Bermuda grass that gets that real heavy dew. And we throw that salt on there, and that heavy moisture on the Bermuda grass blades, when we put all that pool salt on there, it will melt that salt and turn it into a saltwater bath, and it'll roast that Bermuda grass, and the paspalum can endure it. We put a little 1/2 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet rate of fertilizer out on the golf course, and she really popped. Beautiful green color. So we're starting to dial it in. So look at that beautiful pine straw beds. Put that pine straw out, it really sets off the golf course. Really makes it look beautiful. There's one of my guys over there edging that bunker. We're required to use weed eaters when we edge the bunker to maintain our warranty with the Better Billy bunker liner that's in underneath all the sand. That little plastic string on the weed eater will not damage the liner like a mechanical steel blade. We go through a lot of weed eater string, but the bunkers are definitely worth it. When we sodded this bunker face, we put the drip line in it. You can see some Bermuda grass patches here, that brownish, roasting some Bermuda grass with the salt. We resodded that bunker face a couple weeks ago. It's looking good. And 10 green is really coming on. A couple of paspalum patches in there. But the greens are bouncing back really, really well. So we're gonna leave the height cut up on them the next couple weeks and just grow as much grass as we can, get some nice good roots going. And towards the end of the month, we'll slowly start lowering the height to cut, working towards that playability that we're all used to. Look how these bunkers stand out with that new fresh white sand. They look spectacular. Here's 16 all dolled up with the pine straw and everything after the addition to the recovery area, the bailout area to the left. What a great addition to this green, getting everything out of the way so we have a nice bailout area to the left. 'Really turned out beautiful. might see some of these lines out here around the trees and stuff. These are from a root pruner. We're trying to get the roots from these trees cut so that it doesn't reach all the way out here and steal the fertilizer and the water from the grass. So a couple ripples here and there we got to come in and fix, which is no big deal. But we're just trying to do everything we can to make that grass as good as we can. And those babies right there like the same water and fertilizer that we put on the grass. So let's stop their ability from stealing our glory.